Eda Ranu investigates illegal sewer connections. Public servants warn against political interference. Pepes trio to represent PNG in Singapore Netball Super League.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartolo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. There are industries with illegal connections to Eda Ranu sewage channels that are now being investigated. Eda Ranu is also warning industries to have proper waste management plans. Business houses who fail to dispose of their waste in a proper manner will be penalized.
Eda Ranu's General Manager for Operations, Michael Yagaro, says Eda Ranu's waste channels are designed for domestic waste only. When industries illegally connect to those channels, sewage blockages occur. These activities have serious penalties if warnings are not taken seriously.
We've already carried using our administrative powers for the interest of public good to block industries who continuously discharge and cause massive blockages and affect human health.
He says they issue warnings at first before they take any action. However, that does not mean that they will ignore the continuous practice of illegal dumping.
For fines, and if you continuously default, the fine goes up, and if you're a chronic defaulter, it will take you to court and jail you.
He says monitoring and regulating the waste channels has been challenging as there is not enough manpower.
We're trying to increase the sewage manpower by at least 40% or 30% because we are undermanned at the moment. We've gone through a retrenchment exercise and we laid off some of our long-serving staff in the department.
Eda Ranu is currently constructing their policy to regulate and monitor waste dumping.
We are working on stage by stage, and from there we will put things together and we will pull out send out the information to the public, and then they will kind of comment and all this, come back to us, and then we will bring it back to our management, and then the program will take place.
The policy will require industries to apply to have license to carry out waste dumping at Eda Ranu's waste ponds.
We will invite those companies involved in doing this to actually come in and lodge an application with us. That will be a separate invitation going out from towards the end of the month or maybe early next month. And that process will ensure that we formalize and we know who's doing what, and we give them the authority or the license to actually carry out the disposal.
This is Morata Treatment Pond. It is one of the 3 treatment ponds in Port Moresby. As the city's population is increasing, Eda Ranu says from its new policy being designed, it is looking at extending or having new locations to establish new treatment ponds. Gaile Kivali, National EMTV News.
Enga Provincial Police Commander Superintendent George Kakas is appealing to warring tribes in the province organizing peace ceremonies to ensure police are always present. He said there must be an independent party at hand to mediate. This comes after 6 people were killed with over 24 injured from axes and bushknives after a compensation ceremony had gone wrong recently. The tribes Sinan and Tipakin had gathered at Keokai village for the truce when the fight broke out. Public servants of New Ireland Province say that politics must not interfere with the public service system, and they have petitioned Acting Provincial Administrator Lamila Pavut to address outstanding work-related issues and concerns that have crippled service delivery in the province. Public Employees Association President of New Ireland, Watson Sole, told EMTV News most were outstanding issues that were never addressed. Fabian Hakalitz was in Kevang and files this report.
Public servants of New Ireland Province have petitioned the government to address their outstanding log of claims. A document outlining the 12 claims was provided to EMTV News in Kevang, with public servants expressing the outcry over what is being described as political interference in the New Ireland Provincial Government administration. Among others is the structure and appointment of senior management.
Many of the outstandings, the leave entitlements, leave fares, that's the leave fares that
given to public service in the 2 years of work, and they are given to go for holidays. And another one is the HDA. It's outstanding way back in 2013, which the administration has failed to make the selection and appointments for the new realignment structure that was approved in 2013. The SPA, that's the normal staff performance appraisal that are given every 6 months or every 1 year to officers after 1 year. And the others centralization of financial powers are kept at the administrator's office.
Mr. Sole told EMTV News public servants were not happy with the way the provincial administration was controlled by political leaders, and as a result, people suffer not being active but mere recipients of goods and services. Personal Management Department Secretary John Kali was also copied on the petition to intervene and save the public service from disarray.
My call to DPM to go by the rules that the section GO2 is followed. The processes and procedures must be followed.
The acting provincial administrator in a letter on January 9 said to respond to the petition this coming Tuesday, January 17. And public servants have warned failure to act on the petition will result on the next course of action. Fabian Haklitz, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, the New Ireland Provincial Health Authority is still waiting for promised funds of 1 million kina from the provincial government. Chief Executive Officer Dr. Alex Wang-Napi, speaking off-camera, told EMTV News it's one of the issues outlined in the petition presented to the acting provincial administrator, Lamila Pavut. New Ireland's PA President, Watson Sole, said the 1 million kina was appropriated in the 2016 budget but hasn't been released.
The authority that have been budgeted for 1 million in 2016 was never been released to them or paid to them to address the PHA that is in place.
The Sacred Heart Community Health Workers School at Lemakot in New Ireland Province will be elevated to a nursing school offering advanced diploma in general nursing. This was revealed by Catholic Health Secretary Gabriel Malongas when asked if the Community Health Workers School was in the process of being elevated. While it's good news for the school, major developments are happening to cater for this shift.
Yesterday, EMTV News visited Lemakot to confirm its elevation status from a community health workers school to a nursing school. But according to Deputy Principal Sister Terry Poho, major infrastructure development in the school is to prepare Sacred Heart Lemakot Community Health Workers School for this shift.
At the moment, we are constructing a new building. Will be made out of 2 stories. One is a computer and library lab, and the bottom one will be a classroom for general nurse or advanced diploma. And also we are extending that one, changing the former kitchen.
The school is preparing for the shift, beginning with infrastructure, curriculum and other documents which are requirements for the advanced diploma nursing program.
We're very happy and we are proud that we are going to evaluate this school or improve the school to better development for the province as well. It was the provincial government where gathered together with the training branch by the school.
Sister Catherine Page, the implementation coordinator, told EMTV News the elevation comes at a time when the country is facing a critical shortage in the human resource in the health sector.
You will find that in the remote areas and especially health centers and clinics, there's no staff there. And it's the CHW, especially they are running the clinics, 8 posts I mean. It will help. It will help the need for more nurses.
Meanwhile, MTV News is yet to receive a confirmation status from the PNG Nursing Council and the National Health Department on the elevation status for the Sacred Heart Lemakot Community Health Workers School. Fabian Haklitz, National MTV News.
National MTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National MTV News. A senior police officer in Leh is warning officers in his command not to collect licenses from drivers. ACP for Northern Region, Peter Guinness, says a driving license is a private property that belongs to the driver. He said police officers have no right to confiscate licenses from drivers. Those found to be confiscating licenses will be dealt with.
Driving license has a value, the value of which you paid for in the first place. So when you are confronted at a roadblock and a police officer asks for a driving license, he has every right to ask for a driving license. You can produce that driving license to him or to her, basically to see if you have a current driving license or not. But that doesn't give the right and the authority of the police officer to take possession of your driving license and tell you to go and come back later. Because once you get the license and you go, you will be driving without a license. And if you
Congo Mamas Association has been set up for women living in Vada Vada settlement in the Mosby South Electorate in National Capital District. Under the association, women will be taught skills in sewing, cooking and doing business to earn money to sustain their livelihood. Their MP, Justin Chechenko, gave 20,000 kina in DSIP funds to help the women.
The Congo Mamas Association comprises of women from 3 provinces, Chimbu, Goroka and Goilala, who have been residing at the Vada Vada settlement in the Mosby South Electorate. The settlement area has been renowned as a breeding ground for criminal activities in the nation's capital. Women living in the community are the most vulnerable and often affected by these criminal activities. Yesterday, Mosby South MP Justin Chechenko presented a check of 20,000 kina under the district's DSIP to empower these women engaged in the SME sector.
20,000 kina! The good hard work of your mothers here, you set up an association to look after your Swabe women in this community. And that's very important for you to provide programs and activities and economic programs so you can all raise money to look after your children, to look after your families, to look after your households, and to look after your community.
Association Secretary Cecilia Loive, speaking on behalf of the mothers, thanked Mr. Chachenko for utilizing the district's DSIP for a good cause. She said they have taken an initiative to form this association as a way forward to eradicate and end the continuous violence they have been facing in the community.
Lo mekem lilik tok 75% lo problem lo dis la community na em sa stalan lo mi plol mama. Na mi pla paini mol kain ken road lo si money na kaino sem em no gat so mi pla come up wanted this la idea lo form my association so that
Eric Arupma, National MTV News.
To news abroad now, an Hungarian camera woman, Petra Laszlo, was sentenced to 3 years probation late on Thursday for kicking and tripping migrants fleeing police near the border with Serbia in September 2015. Laszlo was fired from her job at N1 TV, a television station with nationalist sympathies, after a video footage appearing to show her kicking a girl and a young man went viral online. A court in the town of Szeged, near the Serbian border, had found Laszlo guilty of disorderly conduct after a hearing in which she testified by video link. Prior to that, prosecutors said there were no grounds to charge Laszlo with a racially motivated hate crime. You're watching National MTV News. Trukai Sports is next. We'll have the details when we return.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with netball, and representing the country abroad may not be new to them, but taking part in a Super League may be an overwhelming and an opportunity one cannot miss. PNG Pepes goal shooter Jepeth Tulapi, mid-court Shana Dringo, and goal defender Kilala Owen will have a chance to play among some of the best international netballers in March when they attend the Singapore Netball Super League, an annual prestigious competition where international players from all around the world are invited to participate.
Hi, I'm Jepeth Tulapi. Mid-19-year-old Pepes goal shooter Jepeth Tulapi, a young woman from Southern Highlands, Central and Gulf provinces who is juggling secondary education and netball. Since her debut for the national side in Singapore 4 years ago, Tulapi, who has played netball since the age of 7, has come a long way. With a number of international appearances behind her, including the 2015 Pacific Games, Tulapi now looks at the prospect of playing in the Singapore Netball Super League.
For the Super League, it's going to really help us to gain that team, that strength. And yeah, because right now we are playing in this competition, and it's kind of, the level is really different.
Another Singapore-bound Pepe is Central Last Shana Dringo, who has been playing netball for as long as she can remember. With the influence of relative and former Pepes Rena Gimulina, 23-year-old Dringo plays mid-court for the national side. With netball being popular in her family as well as the community, Dringo naturally followed suit. Her first international appearance came in 2013 when she attended the Under-21 World Youth Championship in Scotland at the age of 19. Upon returning, she was scouted for the PNG Pepes. Since then, it's all netball training and work for her.
To come back and to show a good example to the younger players in POM and just build up netball by showing my skills to the younger players.
Sunema Owen. Veteran netballer and goal defender Kilala Owen is a 35-year-old mom who has spent almost 2 decades of her life with the Pepes. Though it gets challenging at times, this is one Pepe who never gives up. Since starting out in 1999, her first international exposure was the South Pacific Games Guam, which fell on the same year. And since then, it has been a whirlwind of one international after another. The most memorable one for this East New Britain lass was the 2015 Pacific Games, as it was the first international game she has ever played on home soil.
With that experience, I hope to improve myself. I hope to gain some improvement in the way I play and the way I defend, especially defensively, and then in the way I attack the ball as well. My encouragement to the young girls is if you have a dream, take it, live that dream.
Determination.
Take up any opportunity that comes your way.
Dini Rose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
To cricket, and PNG's Pauka Siaka and Norma Ovasuru led the team from the East Asia Pacific to play in the Australia County Cricket Championship and ended up being crowned the champions. The Lewis duo were part of the EAP team that included 9 PNG players and a player each from Japan, Samoa and Vanuatu respectively. The Australia County Cricket Championships, which was played last Wednesday, is an annual tournament showcasing the best cricket talent from regional areas around Australia. The 8-wicket win is surely a good start for the Lewis and a morale booster as they work towards the World Cup qualifiers. And overseas, a rather unusual sight on the rugby field in rural Australia. Amateur rugby players dressed up as Elvis Presley for the 25th annual Parkes Elvis Festival. It was an unofficial event held in the town of Parkes, west of Sydney.
Opening the match was a traditional New Zealand haka with an Elvis Presley twist, performed by Blue Suede Shoes to Ready Teddies. But the Ready Teddies scored the first try in a match that saw wigs and sunglasses flying, jumpsuits shredded, and alcohol consumed by the players to cool down after temperatures during the day soared past 40 degrees Celsius. Captain of the Ready Teddies, Dave Nichols, said it wasn't hard to get the players into the tight jump white suits, even on such a hot day, for a chance to win the Memphis Cup.
It's surprisingly easy. All the guys here have got a passion for the community here at Parks and got a passion for rugby and clearly a passion for Elvis. And yeah, it's quite easy to just say, rightio, let's suit up, boys, and go out and give the fans what they want.
So it's been pretty clean, but very hard. We've seen a couple of people lose parts of their uniform, and yeah, it's been pretty physical.
Rugby rules were rarely followed. And following tradition, the match ended with a tie. The 25th Parkers Elvis Festival concludes tomorrow after a street parade through the town centre. Shane Soroya, EMTV World Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports for tonight. We will be back with the weather details after the break.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Here's a look at your weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Port Moresby, cloudy rain. The same in Daru, and as well as in Kerma, fine and cloudy in Alotau, cloudy rain in Popondetta. To the Momasa region, cloudy periods in Ley and Dwa, rain and showers in Madang, cloudy periods in Wewak, cloudy rain in Vanimore. To the New Guinea Islands region, becoming cloudy in Lorengau and Kavieng, fine although cloudy in Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, cloudy showers in Buka. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, rain and showers over the next 24 hours.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's the way it is this Saturday, the 14th of January 2017. On behalf of the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.